Naaman to Dr. Hippie and now to Bunnyhoppor would be fantastic. Also, I want to put it out there that Dr. Hippie, the mysterious challenger himself, has promised, sworn on his life and his household, that if Bunnyhoppor qualified for the Hearthstone World Championship at BlizzCon, he would dye his hair pink.
Pink. Yeah. That's right.
No comments from TJ, who has yet to dye his hair a different color.
Yeah.
You told me you were going to dye your hair, and you just kept it at the blonde.
I don't know, man. The problem with that is I'm just so indecisive.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to go pink, but then it's like, everybody does pink.
Everybody does pink? One person does pink. And you're looking at him.
I know.
Yeah,
I was trying to trigger
said person has since rescinded
that
opportunity and gone purple instead.
Yeah. I decided that I should match my shirts to your hair instead of matching my hair to your hair.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm actually going to dye my hair based off what color shirt you're wearing. So then we got sort of like an opposites thing going on.
I hope you have a rainbow-colored shirt for BlizzCon. All right, well, going into game number 4 here, Bunnyhoppor, he kept it just card Trueheart. Definitely can't approve of that, considering that life gain is one of the ways you can beat the rogue out, because eventually you do have the removals. He has 2 brawls for the 2 conceals in the deck. That is definitely a comforting thing for Bunnyhoppor. He knows that he has a chance of demolishing his opponent's board. RDU is on the coin, though, and now he picked up one of the most important cards for being able to pressure the Warriors, the Questing Adventurer. But ultimately, the Gadget Stand and the outcome of how he's able to pressure his opponent through how many card draws he gets will determine the game.
Yeah, it's very true. And he already has those tools already in his hand. So this matchup, of course, we've talked about it a few times throughout the day. A few of the casters have talked about it as well. I feel like this matchup's really close right now, you know. There's a lot of players who are in the school of thought that Warriors is a heavy favorite. There's a lot of players who are in the school of thought that Rogue is the heavy favorite. You know,
really?
I've talked to a lot of Rogue experts, and the ones that like really dive deep into the matchups, like Amnesiac, who is known as a Rogue player but can play just about anything. He's not like a Rogue loyalist. He says that the matchup is very close.
Yep, I can believe that based on the way the deck lists are tagged out. Taking a look at RDU's Rogue list. Seems pretty standard. The one thing, of course, is not standard is the Journey Below, which we saw towards the end of Game 2, I believe, where RDU played it, didn't really get much of an option. I guess a Nubarok is one of the game changers. Imagine if you can get that against Control Warrior. Just play Journey Below, get a Nubarok. Perhaps you want something else, though, too, depending on how things go. Maybe Tomb Pillager. And look at RDU just immediately chopping away. Now, we've seen players do stuff like this, be really aggressive, sometimes Shadow Striking face, but I've yet to see Questing Avenger just play as a 2-2 against Control Warrior.
Yeah, and he realizes that it's not necessarily his win condition. He feels like he can't afford to do nothing this turn, and he's also double hedging against Harrison Jones because he knows that's a very likely keep against Rogue in a lot of situations because, you know, weapons are good. It also means that he attacks with the weapon too, so, you know, if he does play Harrison Jones, he gets 1 charge. And also if he plays Harrison Jones, he doesn't answer the Questing Adventure.
That's clever, yeah. Forcing him to choose. Either play Harrison Jones and remove my charge, or let my Questing Adventure live. It's a very interesting proposition, and one that Bunnyhoppor said, you know what? You win. I'm just going to let you keep that dagger. Of course, RDU has a choice of redaggering at this point, too, or attacking. I think if he went for this line, he definitely wants to get rid of his dagger. Now, here's a question. Is he going to redagger if he attacks? Because if he doesn't redagger, then he's completely playing around the Harrison Jones and making his opponent's turn awkward, which I wouldn't mind. But how much he has Gadget Sand, Coin Conceal anyways.
But how much is too much?
It's a good point.
How much do you say? I understand attacking with the Deadly Poison because that has a lot of value, but that 1-2 dagger to you really doesn't have that much value. The value is, you know, giving your opponent cards.
2 cards.
Yeah.
It's really powerful. RDU seeing that his opponent plays just a card because Bunnyhoppor values that life gain, but now here comes the Gadget Sand train.
He's got double Gadget Sand and double Conceal. So RDU, we will see about his entire deck in the coming turns.
Backstab, get rid of a weapon charge. He's still going to be looking for other things. Leroy Jenkins, his Cold Bloods, his Questing Adventure number 2.
Now,
Can also prep Fan here. Wouldn't hate that either, just to continue to draw. Not even take that damage. Get that one little poke to face.
yeah, he knows that Bunnyhoppor does run Tinkmaster over Spark, so getting immediate value out of Gadget and Auctioneer does have inherent value because of that. You know, Tinkmaster over Spark can rip a Gadget and Auctioneer out of stealth and turn him into a Squirrel or a Devilsaur.
That's true. The Tinkmaster Overspark tech.
Yeah.
The before RDU was known for being on G2 and doing all of his accomplishments, he was also known as a very strong Miracle Rogue player because he just played thousands of games with it. And I remember one of the most interesting things ever when I was first learning Hearthstone was listening to RDU just describe the lines of play based off attacking on turn 2 as Rogue. Because there's so much debate for a long time, like, should you attack with the dagger and then re-dagger, or should you not? Like, also there are complications. He spent like 15 minutes talking to me about why you should attack or when you should not attack with the Rogue dagger on turn 2.
It's interesting. You find yourself in spots where you're 1 damage off lethal for 50 games, and then you find yourself in a spot where you don't have a dagger charge to kill a really impactful minion about 50 games. And it's in those situations you realize that life is hard.
Yeah, and it's definitely not the easiest. RDU choosing to start things off with Cold Blood. I was kind of anticipating him to start with something else, but you know what? He's at full hand, so the problem is he can't like Journey Below because I think he would overdraw at that point. And now he's drawn the Questing Adventurer. He probably wants to play that with Eviscerate and then Conceal for the second time. So that way he can get that damage in with the quest in the following turn, forcing a brawl from his opponent. If at all.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like it's a little bit of a waste of 2 damage, but like you mentioned, overdrawing. That minion from Journey from Below could be really important.
Yes.
I think that's how it works, right? You draw the card first, and then the minion would resolve afterwards.
So while people might be looking at the Cold Blood and say, he didn't get the value off of the 4 damage, so he missed 2/4 damage, you have to understand that RDU's hand was just too full at that point. First world Rogue problems. Now Bunnyhoppor picks up that Tinkmaster Overspark.
He can Brawl and Tinkmaster for a guaranteed, not removal, but a guaranteed removal of both effects from these very powerful minions.
Sure, there you go.
And now both Conceals are gone. That's about, you know, as much as you could possibly ask for from Tinkmaster.
Yeah, RDU's probably not hoping for this, unless, a Devilsaur comes out.
Yikes.
I guess Bunnyhoppor says, you know what, that if that Questing Adventurer lived that turn, it would have been much bigger than a 5/5, so thank goodness that I was at least able to stem off that much damage.
Yeah. Tinkmaster over Spark. 3-mana Battle Cry, limit your opponent's potential.
Yep, sounds like my high school teacher in a nutshell. Well, the Devilsaur is going to get in 5 damage here, and that's a 4/4/5/5/6/6. Bunnyhoppor just used 1 brawl as well, so definitely not a comfortable position whatsoever.
It's like Karakazam on steroids.
Karakazam on steroids. Karakazam, yeah, actually you're right, because it'd be a 3/3 buff across the board. That's very strong. Second brawl being forced out of Bunnyhoppor, and he doesn't even have removal guaranteed.
Well, he got, potentially the best outcome. I mean, Azure Drake has, it's the smallest body, but it has spell power attached to it. But
kind of.
Now RDU can just load up the board.
But potential, TJ. Azure Drake has potential damage.
Oh, well, I guess Tinkmaster Overspark's Battle Cry was wrong.
Well, I guess, now he's healed a Devilsaur, so in the end he just took 4 extra damage from the Tinkmaster that he could have avoided. But how does Bunnyhoppor now deal with this? He's going to play the Infestator and try to get in the way of the Azure Drake. He's just going to equip the Fire War Axe and tank up. These are questions which are like a little bit harder to answer, but with Gromish in his hand, I feel like his answer for removal on the following turn is better. Oh, okay, so he chooses to remove this turn. This is how seriously he's treating the threats, because he knows that his opponent probably is drawn deep enough for Cold Blood.
Yeah, and he knows that he's actually been through a lot. He's been through both Conceals. He's been through both Questing Adventures and the Edwin Van Cleef.
Is that a Karen Bloodhoof?
Hello.
Oh my goodness. That is really strong against Warrior. They can't remove that easily.
Yeah.
Unless he's thinking about picking up Zero for like some combo potentials, but I mean, Karen is really good.
Yeah.
Wow.
And Journey from Below ends up being a pretty good card
Fantastic
on the day for RDU.
tech. And Matt, I mean, you have to wonder what Journey Below is intended for. And if you know that people are going to be bringing a lot of slower variants of Warrior, then of course you're going to use it to boost your matchups against it, or perhaps against other matches which are a little bit slower as well. Okay, so Bunnyhoppor, what does he do from here?
Well, he's got a lot of very powerful minions in his hand,
Yeah.
including Nazoth. So maybe just drop some of these death rattles, try and get them rolling before Nazoth is going to come out.
Yeah, I don't mind
Sylvanas
that.
is incredibly powerful, but it is very vulnerable to sap, in which you have seen 0.
Yeah, but you have to play it eventually. If you play the Infested Torn and Sylvanas in the best case scenario, your opponent doesn't sap it, and then you could potentially do some Ravage Ghoul shenanigans with the Cairn. RDU has 4 plus the Leroy and the Viscerate, which is 10, plus the Hero Power Dagger, that's 15, plus, well, SI can't squeeze in because of the mana, but as soon as he's able to do that, he has 17 damage.
So then what's
a little
the
bit awkward.
best way to go about this? So sap on the Sylvanas is pretty much a given. So you're left with 8 mana.
I guess the double Pillager makes the cleanest. You could also play SI and remove and get damage with the Cairn as well.
Yeah. I kind of like just SI1 and Pillager second, even though it puts less power on the board. You're giving your opponent less resources, killing off the entire body of the Infested Tauren. This does use less mana and makes your burst potential, I guess, as the game progresses, a little bit less. But I guess that the only potential that would be used for burst would be Leroy Jenkins Eviscerate plus SI7 Age, which would be 12. If he ends up being 2 damage off lethal, then we can be completely results-oriented and call it a misplay. If you'd like. I mean, I'm up for it if you're
That's
up
what
for
we're
it.
paid to do, DJ. Use caster vision to spot that, but definitely can agree with the fact that he just has to load up as much board tension without overextending onto the board and cleanly removing. Bunnyhoppor goes up to 20, so 4 plus the 14 still needs a little bit more in order to finish this game out. The thing is, Cairn's showing off why he's strong. He can easily go for a trade here, or you can just go for the tempo of playing Tomb Pillager, eviscerating, and trying to get more damage in and making Cairn that much harder to remove. How many cards are remaining in RDU's deck, though? One of the problems could be that he might be too low on cards if he plays the slow game.
Well, he's got some damage left. I believe he has 1 Cold Blood,
Yes.
1 Deadly Poison,
I got the best deals anywhere.
Thanos, I think.
a Thanos, and
Maybe another Drake. But either way, he still needs to be searching for some of that damage to finish the game.
14 cards left for Bunnyhoppor, and
Choose soon.
2. So it's just Deadly Poison and Drake, I think.
Yeah.
Has used both Phantom Knives?
Actually, it could be a Fan of Knives number 2.
Yeah, but we're going to see here. There's the Deadly Poison.
Yeah. The sap, so that he can play the Tomb Pillager as well. It doesn't matter if he's on fatigue. It is Azure Drake.
Soon.
And that's a huge board from RDU. He's got 17 damage loaded up. Bunnyhoppor doesn't have the brawls anymore.
But Revenge plus Ravaging Ghoul.
Oh. You're right. Revenge is something that we weren't thinking about in terms of the health activation.
I don't know. Is RDU going to have enough damage? He has 10 from Leroy Jenkins plus Eviscerate. 6 from Deadly Poison. So that's 16 total damage that he needs 2 turns to do. So that means he needs to piece together, what, 4 damage this next turn? So if Cairn survives and all Bunnyhoppor does is armor up,
I'm trying to do some quick math here, assuming that he might even bash to gain health. Then he would be, I think he would be at 3 plus 4 is 19. 19 with 13 plus 4 is 17. He would be off, assuming he bashes here, and then just it tanks up. And I think RDU, he can squeeze in all the damage because he has the Deadly Poison. And Leroy, Viscerate, 10, 13, 17. Yeah, he's 2 off. But he has the
Coin doesn't matter.
So what he might end up doing is playing a minion, Deadly Poison Dagger, and then remove and try to kill one more turn. But then he knows his opponent has Grommash still waiting. I mean, this is very, very close. And I think you said somewhere down the line if RDU was 2 damage off at one point.
Oh no! Oh no!
If he was 2 damage off at one point, could we say that there's an opportunity for RDU to be more aggressive? Because he has 17 by my count right now.
My voodoo words.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, TJ, you could have been right. But RDU is trying to maximize as much damage as he can by using the Shadow Strike here, but he knows that one of these minions will certainly die to the Grommash.
Is it going to be enough, though?
Yeah.
Next turn, he has 11 damage from hand, plus the 14 on the board, actually, or plus 4 on board, so it'd be 15.
Oh, but he doesn't have the way to remove every single minion on the board. He does have the N'Zoth, but I don't think it only summons the Infestatoran.
Infestatoran, yeah.
Rather than going Baron Geddon is just 1 damage from clearing the minion, but you do 2 damage to yourself.
So if he armors up and kills the Azure Drake, he's dead.
Yes, if he plays Grommash, trades, but he knows the last cards. He knows that it's Leroy and Eviscerate, and Thanos, which is the extra point of damage.
Even if it was just Leroy and Eviscerate, it'd be enough.
Right.
Because it'd be 17 totally, go up to 16. Because you'd only be able to kill off.
Yeah. Wow, what a close game. Super duper close. Warrior almost got to the finish line, but RDU stops him with 3 damage of fatigue. You don't usually see rogues go that deep.
Yeah, and Bunnyhoppor has to know it. Got to be keeping track of those cards throughout the course of the game. And Leroy plus Eviscerate are 2 cards that you definitely keep close track of.